Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. It's been in. 1.4 to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field. Back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
Welcome into the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider, brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Just 3 days away from the start of the Dan Lanning era for Oregon football. Coach Lanning set to kick off and officially become the 35th leader in program history. We'll hear from Coach Lanning in a second. It's going to be a great show today. In about 10 minutes, Coach Matt Ulmer of Oregon Volleyball going to join us here in the studio, go over the 2-0 start in Portland and preview the matches coming up this weekend for that program. After that, later in the show, the editor of GoDucks.com, Rob Moseley, going to join us here in the studio. We're going to talk all sorts of Oregon football, X's and O's, depth chart, the team traveling to Georgia tomorrow. You have that to look forward to. Before those in-studio interviews, though, Coach Lanning met with the media about 45 minutes ago, had some interesting things to say about how this week is going to go, how his team is preparing to board that flight. In the coach's words, it's a business trip. Here's Coach Lanning.
Really good day of prep for our guys. Pleased with the progress as we get closer and closer to traveling. We'll be out tomorrow after our practice in the morning. We'll travel that way. Our guys have a great mindset right now. Again, I think I said it before, the hay's not in the barn. We got a lot of work to do. We're going to keep working until the ball's kicked. That being said, we can open up for questions.
We haven't gone through what is the end of game week, so you mentioned practicing tomorrow and then leaving tomorrow, Dan, but in terms of Friday, are you a hotel walkthrough guy, a stadium walkthrough guy?
Yeah, we'll get a walkthrough. We'll have an activation lift for our guys. We'll use the Falcons facility a little bit. We'll use the stadium.
How's the practice squad been in terms of giving you guys good looks?
Phenomenal. I mean, I think every single day I've been able to point out somebody different that's embracing their role for our team to be successful, and that look ultimately is what's going to lead to our success.
Who was it today?
Zebo has been a guy that's really stuck out to me. He's done a great job. Each day, I think we've gotten a really good look from the look O and the look D. Honestly, I couldn't single out one guy. That's one of the guys we pointed out this morning in meetings.
Looks like Terrell's out there, number 19, coming kind of to mimic Brock Bowers. How has he done in that role? What have you liked from there?
Yeah, he's done a great job. Terrell's pushed us every single day. Obviously there's several guys that are giving us that look. We've had T. Ferg and Mo over there giving us those looks. I think it's really important to try to simulate some of that size and speed that they have at the tight end position.
Will you do that throughout camp or throughout the season, using some of your regular guys on the scout team?
Yeah, you do whatever you can to give the best look for the other side of the ball, and that's part of embracing that team role.
Is that part of what Dante Thornton's doing this week for you guys?
We've had a lot of guys doing it, but Dante's been a phenomenal look. He's also a big part of our game plan.
How is the kicking competition? We hadn't asked
good.
about that in this week or so. Is there a leader in either position at this
point?
Yeah.
How hard is it to replicate a guy like Brock Bowers? Can you just talk about his versatility and what he can do on the tight end position?
Brock has a tremendous work ethic, but he catches the ball well and he runs like a wideout. It's just really unique when you're talking about a guy that's over 220 pounds that moves like he moves. He probably would run as fast a 40 as any, several of their other wideouts, which is pretty impressive, his ability to move and what that looks like.
Will you guys hit before Saturday, or are you done with your full contact practices?
To be determined.
You guys have any outside of football plans while you're in Atlanta, kind of team building stuff?
We're going there for work. We got a job.
Is recruiting an opportunity for you on the road just because here on a Friday, it may be hard logistically, Dan, but if you want to hit the Atlanta area, the Southeast in particular, theoretically you could.
Yeah, normally I'd say that's probably something that we would look to do this early in the season. That's not our biggest concern. First time traveling for me, I want to get everybody familiar with that process.
First time we talked to you, first day of fall camp, you're a little overwhelmed by how much work this team had to do. Now that you're one day away from leaving, how do you feel like your team is going into, we're getting on a plane tomorrow and we're going to play?
Yeah, I think, one, our players have really embraced the work, the extra work needed. That being said, I still think there's opportunities for us to prepare and get ready and continue to improve in between now and the game. A lot of things that we can clean up. And then I think it's our jobs as coaches to simplify the game plan as we get closer to kickoff.
And a lot of the players have talked about a lot of that work that needs to be put in from now until game time being off the field work. So talk about how the importance of that between now and kickoff will kind of determine how you guys come out and you play and your mentality.
Yeah, mental prep, the way you, hydrate, right? That, first games you see more guys cramp than any other game of the year. I think it's really important that we take care of our bodies and we're conscientious of that piece, the nutrition aspect, the extra film work. So, we got a flight that we can watch a little film in while we're on that trip. You also got to take a chance to check out a little bit for your players and give them that opportunity.
How much does the experience of your veteran offensive line maybe come to play this week against some really talented guys? I know we talked about Jalen already on Monday, but a lot of talent on that Georgia defense.
Yeah, I think we'll see. Wait till the game played. But obviously that experience is a big advantage for us. I think we got to wait till the ball gets out there to see how it plays out.
You had to defend Kyrus a lot, obviously, in practice. What is it that makes him such an effective target for them?
I think Kyrus is just tough-nosed kid that, he's faced some adversity with injuries, but catches the ball well. He's steady Eddie, consistent, can block on the perimeter. They use him really well in the blocking game as well. Can go back there and return kicks. So he's kind of a Swiss Army knife for them.
You mentioned the other day kind of recovering from camp and kind of getting your legs back under you. I think Bennett mentioned that too. It had been a taxing camp and then kind of transitioning the game. What was that? How do you balance kind of helping guys recover from camp while also ramping it up toward a game, and just do you feel like everybody's got their legs under them at this point?
Yeah, it's a hard balance. It's a hard balance. We still have some recovery days between now and game day, so I think that'll certainly help. I would say this, I'd rather push and overwork now on the front end than feel like we didn't do enough later on. I feel like that's where we're at as a team, but we're definitely in recovery mode and being really conscientious of every rep we take.
Coach Gonzalez said about the mental prep going into this game. He said it's something we've been doing since we're 5 years old. Like we all know what we're doing. Can you talk about what you voiced to your players about the mental prep going into the Week 1 game?
Yeah, just control what you can control. I said it earlier, play the game, not the occasion. Got to focus on the small details. I can't do somebody else's job. I have to do mine, right? And every single defensive call or offensive call has a job that I'm responsible for. Even if I'm on the sideline, what's my role in that moment? So embracing your role, making sure you're focused on the details for you, really important to carry over in this game.
I'm sure you've seen that Kirby said he knows who your quarterback is going to be. Do you think he's onto something? Or?
I don't know. I'm not really worried about it.
I know you weren't part of last year's team, but have you seen maybe players last year's game against Ohio State, another example of a non-conference game going across the country, underdogs? Have they referenced that in terms of, is there value to that?
Every year is different. We haven't spent a lot of time talking about the past or the future. I mean, we're trying to live really right now in the present, but I think our guys have supreme confidence in their ability.
This will be the first pregame speech you give, Dan, and obviously a pretty big opponent for it. Where do you get inspiration for crafting such a message?
The speech ain't going to win this game, right? We're going to let our players play, right?
Dan, who have you used in practice to kind of mimic Stetson Bennett's scrambling and mobility?
Yeah, Jake Van Dyne's given us a really good look at quarterback all week. We've also done some good-on-good periods where we've increased, some of that scrambling opportunities, and Ty and Bo do a really good job on their feet, so I think that's been good to get when they're giving us that same look.
Do you feel like Stetson kind of got enough credit for that national championship and that playoff run?
You're probably not. Right, he won a national championship. That's a pretty big deal. So, like I said before, Stetson exudes confidence. He has more confidence in himself. It really doesn't matter what everybody else thinks, when it comes to Stetson. But obviously, he's a great player and has done a good job for that team.
On that pregame playlist, is Eminem's "I Am" one of those hype songs for you?
No, it's not. No. Appreciate you guys.
Coach Lanning getting ready to travel to Georgia tomorrow. The youngest head coach in the Power 5 about to become the 35th leader of Oregon football in just a few days. We'll have more football coming up later in the program. Coach Ulmer is here with us, Oregon volleyball coach. He's after this break on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes! So much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be.
We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insiders brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union, joined by the head coach of Oregon Volleyball, the head coach of the 2-0 Oregon Volleyball squad. Matt Ulmer, thanks for being here with us.
You got it?
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Okay.
That was
and
the worst
it was a little
one.
sloppy.
That was a little
sloppy. It's okay.
On the exit, we'll be a little bit better with the handshake.
We'll do better. Yeah, we'll do better.
How are things, Coach? Exciting first weekend of play.
Yeah.
Able to go up to Portland and see some good things from your squad, I think.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. We saw a lot. So we had a really tough match against Long Beach State. I thought Long Beach played really well. And I thought we found out a lot about ourselves. But most importantly, I liked how we fought at the end. We were down 14-12 to lose the match, and just made plays, kept making plays, and played really high-level volleyball. And it was us making plays, not necessarily negative plays happening. It was just we just kept playing really good volleyball. So I like to see that type of fight from our group, and we saw that from a lot of different people. So that was exciting.
How was the trip up for the team? I feel like when the lights turn on, you play a team with different colors. Team starts to come together a little bit. How is that part of things for the group this weekend?
I think we were very nervous to start, or excited. Excited for the season to start. There was some nerves there, and then we have quite a few new pieces. So just, and we have so many. I know everybody says it's a good problem. We have so many good pieces that it's hard to get them all timed together. Because they all deserve to be out there. So it's hard. It's been hard to be able to just settle in on a lineup, and I think we even saw that this weekend. That hopefully that's just a positive for us, is that we don't necessarily have to, because everybody can step up and make a play for us.
Yeah, especially right now. And I was about to ask you about that depth. A lot of players played. Newcomers came in and had some success the first time playing at this level. You're right. You do get excited for something like that, and a lot of newcomers got that first rep, which is a big one to get.
Yeah. Mimi Collier, was freshman of the week this week in the conference, which that's really exciting. But I thought she handled herself so well. I mean, you can watch her coming out of high school and club, and think she's going to be whatever. But then once you actually get here, then it's different, and then you can watch it practice or us playing against each other and know. But then once the game goes, that's the true test. And I thought she handled herself so well. So that's a huge answer for us, to have her opposite Brooke, and we always have a really really great option on the left, with the two of them in the front row. So, and I think, she had a really nice time this weekend, and that was fun for her. And our team was really supportive of her, and that was great. So to be able to see her, that happen for her. And, we struggled in just matching up defensively against Long Beach in the first match, and we did a double sub, and I thought that worked out well. Elise Ferrer has been playing great, and so is Hannah Pukas. So, we were able to do that. We have Gloria Mutiri and Morgan Luce, who have a ton of experience on the right, and we could just kind of pull that trigger and let them both go in, and I thought that stabilized us a lot, So it's really nice to be able to have that option, which we've done the 6-2 in the past, so we know it. We haven't necessarily practiced it, but we know it. I think that was the right move for us in that day, and it's something that we can always go back to if we need to. But everybody's pushing each other, and I think that's making us better.
So Mimi Collier, I want to go back to her for just 1 second. Pac-12 Freshman of the Week, a double-double to start her career. Pretty impressive. What have you seen from her in practice? Why was she uniquely prepared as a true freshman to come in and have immediate success?
Well, I think she can do every piece of the game at a high level, which that is just really rare to be able to do that. She has the physical ability, but it's we did film today, and she came in and she had a list of things that she wanted to talk about or go over in film, and wow. I've never had anybody do that. So I mean, that's just something that's special about her. She'll come in and get extra reps. She'll come in and she'll ask the coaches to come in and work on something specific that she wants to work on, and those are that's not normal, especially for a freshman. So, just so many different things that she brings to the table, not just her physical ability.
Is that part of the culture of this team, being a student to the game in addition to being a tremendous athlete? Do you see that from multiple players on this group, just a love for the game and learning more about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, if you ask about Georgia Murphy or if you ask about Brooke Nunaville or Elise Ferreira, a lot of the older players, like that is the example that they set. So I think it makes a lot of sense for Mimi to come in and see, oh, this is what they do. I do it too. So I definitely think, those guys have set a standard of, here's how we do things. And so it's easy to just, follow that along. So I think that helps Mimi be good right away.
So what you see in that first match, Long Beach State, up and down match, but down the stretch in those white knuckle moments in the fifth set, you started to play your best of the day, I think. And that's got to be a good sign going forward.
Yeah, definitely. Something that we really been talking about is how to compete harder. And really just be so tough. Or Coach Rad will say, have mental clarity in those moments. And be able to risk in those moments. And I thought we had a lot of those opportunities, and we came through in so many of them. And that's an amazing thing to see so early. So hopefully, that just gives us confidence moving forward that you're always in the match. We can always make a run. We can always, be in the big points. And, that was really great to see. Again, we could have lost that match just as easily as we won it, but we came through, and that's a testament to the group.
Brooke Nunaville are a big part of both wins. Hit 341 this week, and 5 kills per set, I think it was. Yeah. Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week. It's a pretty scary thought, I think, to think about how Brooke Nunaville could be even better this season than she was last season.
And if you ask her, she didn't think she played well this weekend. So
that's the standard of greatness. It really is.
Yeah. No, she's relentless. And I thought, she was great. And down the stretch against Long Beach, when all those points were on the line, we set her every ball. And she came through. I think there was one where Elise Ferrer set her. She's like, I saw her on the ground, but I set her anyway, and she got up and got the kill. So just the confidence that her teammates, the trust that her teammates have in her, and she's absolutely earned that. That trust from her teammates, and they celebrate her definitely. And no, she's just really special.
Is she the type of player that, in those moments down the stretch, she's calling for the ball? She wants those plays run for her
as loud as possible. So she's making sure everybody knows it. But it's one of those things where I think Elise even said it. She's like, how am I not going to set her? Like, she's going to get that ball. So that she came through again, just reinforces that, yeah, you're going to give me that ball. I'm going to do it.
You mentioned Elise. I thought 3 setters made an impact this weekend, and Murphy, Ferreira, and the newcomer Hannah Pukas as well had a lot of assists over 2 matches. What'd you see from your setters over the course of this weekend, and how they set up some of those hitters offensively?
Yeah, so we were a really poor out-of-system hitting team in the past, and that's something that we really spent a lot of time on in our off season. So Georgia Murphy as our libero, becoming a much better setter, because a lot of times we have to run our offense through her. And she's definitely done that. I think she's putting up a lot more hittable sets for our players, and I think we have much better ideas of what we're trying to do in those situations, and so that was nice to see that come through over the weekend. And Elise and Hannah are both excellent, and they're old. I mean, they're 4th and 5th years. They've had a lot of experience, a lot of success. I trust both of them completely. There's no hesitation to let either of them run the show. So how do you balance that? How do you do that when you're lucky enough to have 2 really good quarterbacks, which we are? So it makes practice really good because both sides are pushing each other. That hopefully is where we can stay, and we just keep competing. And our best chance out there will be one of them or both of them if the situation calls for it.
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective that you bring up, just how high quality those practices are, and you get them on both sides. That seems like it's a significant part of this team and how they were getting ready for the season. It should help throughout the season as well.
Yeah, I thought our competitive level in practice today was higher than what we saw this past weekend, and that's a testament to the whole group. So hopefully that only continues. And again, you talk about culture. That's what our team culture is hoping, that both sides just continue to push each other to get better every day.
So I feel that momentum that you're mentioning. A great practice this week. The match against Portland State too, an improvement after some up and downs against Long Beach State. I thought the group came out really motivated against Portland State in that 3-set sweep. What did you see in that second match of the season?
Yeah, I think the meeting after Long Beach, before Portland State, was just a reminder of what we need to bring every day. Everybody's always going to be playing their best against us. We need to make sure that we are prepared to play our best, and that's in a lot of the little things, right? In our coverage, or in our serving, just locating a serve or putting a little bit more pressure on the other side, cleaning up just some little things in communication. And I thought the group did a good job of reminding themselves of that and holding each other accountable to that. And so I thought you saw the byproduct of that on Sunday against Portland State, where we played much more clean together, and it gave us a lot of opportunities, and I thought we scored really well.
So back at home for the Oregon Invitational this weekend. Players got to be excited to play in front of that home crowd.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time that the whole group isn't playing in masks, in front of a home crowd or things like that, where we're switching sides at home. It's just, things like that. Like
that's why you come to Oregon.
We're excited.
Like these.
Yeah, we're excited to be around the fans more, and see faces and just all those things. I know that now feels like a while ago, but this is the first time for us. So I think the group is really excited, and Davis and Rice, both teams, they're undefeated so far, coming in together 6-0. They're both really quality teams. They're older, veteran teams, and they're wanting to have a great season just like we are. So we know we're going to get their best shot, and hopefully we just keep improving.
Well, I'll leave you with this, Coach Ulmer. What are some of those keys this weekend against Davis and Rice? Like you said, 2 tough groups.
Yeah, we're a big read defense and blocking team, and I thought we didn't read very well as a group. So for us, can we calm our minds in between whistles? Can we communicate, what we think we're going to see with each other to prepare? And then can we do a better job of staying calm throughout the rally, making good reads on our coverages, and playing more as a group. I thought our defense took a big jump from Saturday to Sunday, and traditionally we've been a very good defensive team.
Right.
So hopefully, that just keeps continuing. And then the connections in our offense just keep getting better, and we just get more familiar with each other. So I'd like to see those 2 things.
Oregon Volleyball back at home this weekend. Yeah. We're excited to see him. Coach Ulmer joining us on the show. Always appreciate your time.
6 o'clock. We'll see you there tomorrow. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks. Let's get it to a break.
Are you ready?
Let's do the handshake
right
one
hand.
more time.
Okay, come on. There we go. And, yes, and.
Yep.
So much better.
Boom.
So much better.
See everybody at Matthew Knight Arena tomorrow. Let's get a break and come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Jordan's a pro.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it,
On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Wanted to remind you that ski season will be here before you know it. Visit skihoodoo.com for the latest updates on the upcoming season, including preseason sales, deals, and events for the entire family. Hoodoo Ski Area is your locally owned and operated destination for winter fun and a proud supporter of Oregon athletics. Rob Moseley, the editor of GoDucks.com, going to join us in about 10 minutes. Before he joins us, let's talk with Bennett Williams, a member of the secondary that dealt with injuries last year. But boy, I think he's all geared up for a big season, a really talented player, and also a talented speaker. A good interview with Bennett Williams.
Some ways it seems like camp flies by, and some ways it feels like it crawls. Like, what was your sense of the time for camp, and what's it like now to be kind of at the end?
Yeah, this was definitely a taxing camp, and I say that in the best way possible, right? I think, our preparation was top notch, and the growth we've made since coming into camp has been astronomical, really. We're definitely feeling it, feeling the fatigue and stuff, but. It was a really good camp, I think, for the whole team.
What are your thoughts on Georgia and just what this game will be like opening up against a team like Georgia?
Yeah, obviously they're a really good team, defending national champions, but we also understand it's a different team than it was last year. We're preparing, for them like we would any other team. Obviously, Coach Lanning has a good beat on them and what they're going to do. But we got to go out there and stop it, and then our offense, go create and make plays.
You said that the team grew a lot during camp. Where was that growth at? What made you guys improve? Where did you improve?
A lot of different areas. I'd say like the growth in terms of connection. I'd say that happened a lot in the off season, in the summer, and really accelerated into camp. But I'd say as far as the playbook and moving fast and playing fast and understanding. This is a complicated defense, right? But we put in so much work, and you can definitely see that. At least on the defensive side of the ball, I can speak for that.
We talked after the Ohio State game last year, and you were on top of the world. How much do you hold on to that feeling, and how much does that drive you to try and get back to that mountaintop going into a game like this?
Yeah, these are big games, right? And you come in as the underdog. That always for me has been I always embrace that mentality, right? The underdog mentality. So you feel like you rise to that occasion. But at the same time, I think with this defense and something that maybe we didn't do super well last year, I'd say playing level every game, right? Like improving every game and not just playing up to your competition. It can't just be this game that we get up for and be really, really hyped for this game, and then the next week, take it easy because we think, it's not we got to treat every opponent the same. And play our brand of football. Really.
You've played some really great tight ends in your career. This one might be the best. what is it about Brock Bowers that makes him that good?
Yeah, he's definitely a special player. Size, speed, hands, can block, got finesse. He's definitely a good player. But I feel like we got really good players. I feel like we have the guys in the scheme that can, I don't even want to say completely negate it or shut it down, but at least limit it, right? And work into our game plan to try and win this game.
From your role in particular, Bennett, how do you just feel? I'm not asking you to give away anything, but something that any defense does, bracket coverage. Just how do you feel about using that on a guy on a tight end in particular?
I don't think we're not gearing our whole game plan to stop him, right? They got a ton of threats, and so we've put in some different defenses and stuff to give them different looks and potentially slow their playmakers down. But as far as gearing a whole game plan towards it, I don't. We're going to play our game.
Do you feel back at home at boundary?
I've been playing a lot of positions. Even this week, just rotating at every different position, being ready for whatever, position coach wants me to play at. I feel really comfortable everywhere, to be honest. And that's a testament to coach and his staff, getting me ready to play wherever I need to play.
You touched on that underdog mentality. Is that word talked about in the locker room at all? Do you just talk about that as a team, or does that give you any sense of extra motivation?
Personally, yes. As a team, I think we all embrace that, right? Playing up to a game like this, first game of the year. And yeah, we've talked about it before, right? You see it on ESPN, you watch ESPN, and the spread is like 18 points or whatever it is. It's kind of clear, but we don't think that we're an underdog. I mean, as a team, I really don't believe it. With the talent we have and the way we've been working, I really think we come out and execute, then it'll show on the field.
Dan's been really heavy on play the game, not the occasion. We still all know what the occasion is. What do you have to do mentally over your travel days to make sure that you stay zoned in on the game instead of everything surrounding it?
Yeah, it's big. It's a big one, and it's obviously coach returning that whole story, right? But it's the first game, so I think for us it's like we got to get a feel as a team for what it's going to be like for the rest of the season for road trips, right? It's not just this game that we're like you said, like it's not the occasion, right? Here, I think we need to prep ourselves for, okay, this is how a travel trip is going to be, and this is how it's always going to be, right? We got to go, and it's a business trip, and take care of business. And so I think this is a great, first opportunity to do that.
I realized the issue with multi-tight ends last year, Bennett, happened a lot when you weren't available, particularly the Utah games. But you did play Arizona, you did play Stony Brook, even the FCS team, where they've had a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. Gave you guys a lot of trouble as a defense last year. This is going to be a 12 and at times 13 based offense. How confident are you that you guys have at least, I know it's a different scheme, it's a different staff, lots of things, but solve the issues that were really problematic at times?
I think you said it right there, that it's a different team and different staff and different defense. I mean, I can't sit here and try and predict, exactly how we're going to handle it, right? But I'm confident. I'm really confident in our defense and the way that we have prepared for this game and 12 and 13 big personnels, I guess, going forward.
In preparing for Georgia, just how have you seen Stetson Bennett last year improve and over the course of his career? When you guys looking at?
Yeah, the kid's a gamer. He's definitely pretty good. We understand that just like any player really has his weaknesses, has his strengths. We're gonna do our best to expose those weaknesses, right? And I think, with our game plan, we can slow them down. Yeah, appreciate it.
That was Bennett Williams, a member of Oregon's secondary, meeting with the media. I think Bennett Williams, in multiple ways, reminds me of Verone McKinley. Sure, on the field, he's a ball hawk like Verone McKinley. 3 interceptions for Williams in 5 games played. Did battle injuries last year, but also off the field. Talk about a really good, composed interview. That's Bennett Williams. That was Verone McKinley. You need somebody to be in front of a camera this season. I'm picking Bennett Williams, honestly. It's time now for the 2-minute drill brought to you by Cafe Yum. A couple schedule releases today. We'll start with the cross-country team. The University of Oregon announcing that the Ducks will host the Bill Dellinger Invitational on Friday, September 23rd in Springfield. That will be the second race of the season. The first two in Oregon there you can see. Lewis and Clark, that's the opener. That one on September 1st in Lake Oswego. All building up towards the Pac-12 championships in Riverside, the NCAA West Regionals in Tacoma, Washington on November 11th, and then the NCAA championships in Stillwater, Oklahoma on November 19th. Also today, women's golf announcing their 2022-23 schedule. Their fall schedule will start on September 12th through 14th. The Annika Intercollegiate. A couple of high-profile tournaments. That one, the first one, will be particularly good. It features some of the best programs in women's college golf. In fact, it will host the top 12 golf programs in the nation, all leading up to the Pac-12 preview on October 31st through November 2nd. Oregon women's golf, that was the national runners-up last year. They're back for more under Coach Radley this season. The 2-minute drill is brought to you by Cafe Yum, restaurants throughout Oregon and Washington where special diet requests and custom orders are always welcome. Menus and nutrition info at cafeyum.com. We'll get a break. We'll come back with the editor of GoDucks.com, Rob Moseley, just walked in the door. We're talking Oregon football after this break on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back here on Duck Insider in the Country Financial Studio, brought to you as always by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm joined by the editor of GoDucks.com, Rob Moseley. I know you're excited for the game this weekend, but you do look a little bit disappointed about the empty fridge. I have breaking news. It's going to be filled, I think, at this time next week. The order is on its way, so you can rest assured that next week you're going to get your Diet Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi, Diet Mountain Dew.
That's the order?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Both equally good at quenching my thirst.
You know, you're a runner. It seems like you are cognizant of your health and what you put in your body.
Well, that's nice of you to say.
You have a lot of soda.
I just did the Hood to Coast this past weekend, so I wouldn't say I'm the fittest I'll be all year, but I'm like the least fat I'll be all year.
The least fat.
Right.
That
I'm
is
still
the fittest.
Kind of fat, but
Maybe
like
not.
the least fat.
Mhm.
But now it's the winter coat's about to go on.
You know, we saw a lot of fat guys today at the media availability. Not actually fat, but some big guys.
Whoa,
some offensive
that was a
linemen.
transition. You could have been talking about the media horde, which I am part of, and that would qualify
Myself
as well.
included.
Yes. No, you're a skinny young guy.
Well, for now. Give me a couple of years.
Same, yeah. When I turned 21 for me,
Mhm.
it was like the metabolism. Suddenly I went from being able to get away with eating like a bag of chips for dinner to not being able to get away with it.
So
21 was a massive demarcation.
At what age were you in your prime physically? What was your Mariota Heisman season year?
Probably like 2011, like when I was 35. Like I got into I ended up doing like CrossFit and stuff like that for several years.
That's intense.
Like, so when I was just getting on that path, it's like I was like using a food tracking app. So like I was counting every calorie. And I say to this day, to anybody who's trying to lose weight, diets, exercise programs, whatever, track your calories, because you will just shame yourself into eating less, which is ultimately the goal, the key to losing weight.
So do you do this to this day, or have you you don't have the bandwidth for that anymore?
I probably did that though for 6 or 7 years.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and
then you build habits.
Those first few weeks and months are enlightening.
Yeah.
If you're truly tracking every morsel, it's like, good Lord, the 2,000 calorie day is what's recommended, and I overshoot that by a considerable margin. It turns out I had no idea. You probably figure, oh, sometimes I get up to 2,500, or maybe if a fat day is 3,000. Oh no. A lot of us are eating many, many thousands of calories a day without even being aware.
Yeah.
Anywho.
There are some people around these parts that are in game shape. It is game week.
Right.
The Ducks are headed
like those offensive linemen we spoke to today.
Yes.
So you're welcome for that little buffer I just gave you from the awkwardness of before.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough comment. I'm a young guy. I'm still getting better at this.
Absolutely. Aren't we all? Hopefully we all are.
Yeah, constantly getting better.
Yes.
But hey, take me through game week.
Yep.
What's going on for Coach Lanning and his group? What's the week going to look like?
I'm learning too.
It's
been interesting. I've been really wide-eyed. Just when I'll go out to practice every day. When you see travel schedules and things like that, just how are things going to be different? Because it's not like I'm in these planning meetings. It's like I'm kind of learning on the fly. So it's been fascinating to see kind of what's the same, what's different. Because I think we've talked about before. I mean, in some ways it's it's just football, and so there's a lot of things that look largely the same, and then there's all these little kind of nuances around the margins that it's like, oh, okay, that's a little different, that's a little different, that's a little different. So, I think like last year going out, 2 days before the game, makes a lot of sense. So that's different, but you're coming off camp too in this case, and so there was sort of like some bonus practices. The way they formatted the schedule, some of the practices late last week were sort of previewing game week practices. So I don't even know that this week is going to look exactly like what next week's going to look like. So I'm wide-eyed too, but talking to Coach Lanning today, I don't know, did you guys run all that audio?
Yeah, we ran it at the beginning
so
of the
he
show.
talked about how, and I asked him, there's this sense of like needing to kind of recover from camp, and yet you're also kind of ramping it up for a game too. So what's that like? And Bennett Williams talked about the other day too about kind of getting your legs back under you after camp. And so it's a tricky thing, I'm sure, on some levels to feel like, okay, how do we help guys recover from what they just all the work they just put in the last few weeks, but also staying really sharp and being ready to go on Saturday. So that he surrounds himself with a lot of really smart people. I mean, obviously all the sports science people and the nutrition people and all that, I'm sure provide a lot of input. And Coach Lanning's, from what I can tell kind of from a distance, is pretty awesome about just like seeking out input from whoever. And then, obviously his job is to synthesize all that into what makes the most sense for the guys and to have them ready to go Saturday. So, it's a balancing act, it seems like, through these few days here.
I do want to get into the nitty-gritty with you, talk a little bit of X's and O's and game planning for Saturday.
I don't know if I'm the right guy to talk X's and O's, yeah.
One of the questions I do have, though, Brock Bowers has been a big story this week.
Right.
He's a preseason All-American tight end for Georgia. He's going to be a big part of how successful Georgia is this season. What are the Ducks doing to get ready for Bowers and that entire Georgia tight end room, which probably goes 3 deep?
Yeah, I think that's been one of the interesting things that Coach Lanning has talked about it. The way that it's not just sort of the quote-unquote scout team players on the scout team. And that, he mentioned Terrence Ferguson, Mo Matavao have been called into action to help kind of prep the defense for what they're going to see from those guys. So, obviously, I think there's an immense amount of respect for the talent at that position, but there's also immense amount of respect for a lot of guys at a lot of different positions too. So, we talk about kind of delicate balances. Another one is, how do you give a guy like Bowers in that room kind of the respect they deserve based on their talent, while also going overboard, which you can't afford to do because there's a talent across the board. A program like that, Oregon is a national force recruiting.
Sure.
There's not many peers or even schools that have done that at that level for even longer, but Georgia's one of them.
That's right.
They got dudes all over the place. So, you gotta figure out the right tone to strike in terms of, you gotta give that position its due attention in practice, but while not letting anything else kind of get overlooked.
Mike Jorgensen, you'll hear this segment tomorrow or maybe on Friday on Duck Insider.
Good teaser. You are a pro.
Thank you very much. Jorgie said the trenches are going to be a big key for him coming up this weekend, and it was good to hear from some O-linemen today at the media availabilities. We'll get to those interviews as well. Another teaser as the week moves on. But it feels like that group is adopting a mentality as a group, a feeling that West Coast O-linemen are a little bit disrespected and trying to push back against the stereotype out there that Oregon is glitzy, glamour, whatever. Yeah. And, hey, we can push some people around too and get dirty.
Yeah, there's and we're as guilty as anyone, I think, in kind of the talking head business of just overgeneralizing about certain storylines and narratives and reputations and things like that. I've done a few podcasts with Georgia folks today, and as far as I think college fans in general, particularly back east, are concerned, Oregon's never played defense in the history of the program,
right?
And is a razzle-dazzle offense that puts up 50 a game, and that's what Oregon football is. And in one sense, it's great that the program kind of broke through and was able to kind of make an impression. On the other hand, it's frustrating to that's because it is such an overgeneralization. But, like I say, I'm sure we've probably contributed to it to one extent or another in some ways too. But, obviously this is, some of the questions from the Georgia folks have been like, wow, you like Flo and Sewell, and, we recruited some of these guys, and,
right.
And it's like, well, DeForest Buckner played here. Haloti Nada played here. There's been some guys that have played defense here. These guys are obviously great now, and can't wait to see them play. And happy to have them. But I think the offensive line, it's like the same token. It's like back when Dennis Dixon was running wild. His talent was obviously a huge key to that. But when you're running behind Max Unger and Jeff Schwartz and those guys, Mark Lewis, that helps. Fanuki Tupou, who went and played some in the NFL. So I understand. There's been the guys have gotten some questions this week about the point spread, and they're kind of two minds. One, we don't really want to get too caught up in what other people think because we know what we think about ourselves. But also, hey, if you're being disrespected a little bit, you can play. Maybe that puts a little chip on your shoulder. Maybe that can fuel you a little bit. So you don't want to go. You don't want to go overboard on that and getting too caught up in that. But I think everybody plays a little bit better when they feel like they have something to prove.
Time flies when you're talking to Rob Moseley. You can name drop with the best of them when you're talking about Oregon football history. That was awesome. I got goosebumps. We only have a couple minutes.
Sure.
I got to get to this question.
Yeah.
Oregon wins on Saturday.
Yeah.
How do they do it? What are your keys to the game?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think you obviously you can't turn it over. I think when you start talking in terms of like this, it can be easy to be like, oh, well, you probably got to get a special teams touchdown, and maybe you need a defensive touchdown, and you certainly can't turn it over yourself, and you need some big plays. And I don't see it. It does. I don't see it in that context. It doesn't have to be the perfect storm. But you can't. You have to handle the environment. You have to handle that atmosphere. And I do hope, as I asked Ryan to walk, that experience. I'm sort of cautiously optimistic that experience going to Columbus and winning last week helps them. You're not going to be. I was actually just taping a podcast with Nick Aliotti, and he was talking about the '94 game at USC and how much of a key that was, and how in years prior to that, Oregon had been kind of intimidated, so you almost lose the game before you even take the field. And this program's obviously at a different level than that program was at, still kind of trying to prove themselves. But, you can't take the field kind of feeling like, oh, this is a big opportunity and what a big crowd, and we're playing the defending national championships, make sure you're really comfortable on that stage and you're ready to execute and ready to make plays and ready to try to stop the other team from making plays. Don't turn it over, though.
Yeah,
don't
that's
turn
a
it
big
over.
Key. Hey, Coach
Turnovers and explosion plays. I mean, it's interesting how just in the last few years of college football, clearly the analytics have been revealing to coaches, because you hear that so much now in a way that you didn't necessarily even 4, 5, 6 years ago. Turnovers and explosion plays. You win those two battles, you're in a pretty good spot.
You talk about entering an environment like that, not feeling like the underdog. Coach Lanning has used the word business trip multiple times this week, and I felt that seriousness around practice all week. These guys are ready to go.
I think so, yeah. I think he was really encouraged with the work they put in today and just kind of the level they were at. He was talking the other day about, you're at 211 degrees, water boils at 212, get to 212. It seemed like maybe today they were at 211.5 or something. Yeah. I mean, they're getting close. The hay's never going to be in the barn, as he says. But I think they feel like they've put in a lot of really good work, and kind of however things play out Saturday, I think they're going to feel like they did what they needed to do to be as prepared as possible the moment they did take the field.
Rob Moseley joining us on Duck Insider. Have a safe trip.
Thank you, sir.
Come back with a win. Editor of GoDucks.com. We'll get a break, come back, and talk more Oregon athletics after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics, because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
Back Back here on Duck Insider in the Country Financial Studio, brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Wanted to get to Christian Gonzalez briefly before the end of the show. Had some good things to say. Maybe a star of Oregon's defense this year.
You're a veteran player, but came into this DB room that's pretty young. How have you kind of seen this whole room grow over fall camp and over the summer?
Yeah, they've grown a lot. It's been really fun to come in and be looked at as a veteran, as a leader, and help these young guys learn the defense and just learn how to go about college. And it's been great. They're moving around really well, and I'm excited to watch them.
Seems like the group's really athletic, the young guys. How difficult is it to translate, just because you're someone who came in, I'm sure, to college, really athletic guy. How long does it take to translate that from being able to make plays on the field on Saturdays?
Yeah, I tell them all the time, everybody's athletic once you get to this level. You just got to, the big thing to me that I picked up that I tell them now is you got to practice like you want to play. That's a big thing that you don't really have to do in high school just because you're just more athletic than everybody, but now since everybody's on your same level, you got to really practice how you want to play.
Have you seen some of that come together from those guys?
Yeah, I've seen out of all of them. They've all picked up the mindset that I've tried to help them pick up, and I work with them every day on that, and they work with me too. They help me become better, and I help them become better.
There's so much hype going into this game. What do you do to control your emotions leading into it?
Yeah, it's just like all the team. We're playing a game. We're not playing the opponent. It's football. We've all done this since we was 5 years old. It's the same game. Let's just go and do it, do our job, and we'll see what happens.
What have you seen from Kyrus Jackson? What's going to be the challenge for you on Saturday with him?
He's a great player, just like all the other receivers, and I'm excited to go against him.
Yeah, when we see the highlight footage from practice, we don't see you a lot, and I don't mean that in a bad way. That should be a credit to you, because that means you're not getting thrown at a lot.
Right.
Are the quarterbacks testing you in practice very much, or are you keeping things locked down still?
They're going to test everybody. That's what we like to do, so everybody can stay on their feet and nobody can fall asleep. But, yeah, they test everybody.
Defensive back Christian Gonzalez talking with the media. I have high expectations for him this year. He's long, he's quick, he flies over the field, speaks with a little bit of confidence as well. All right, here's the deal. Rest of the week, we're going to have some great stuff on Duck Insider. An interview with Georgia play-by-play man Scott Howard. That's coming tomorrow. The pick segment, the famous pick segment, we went like a half an hour. That's coming on Friday as well. Tonight at 7 p.m., The Coaches Show. Jerry Allen, Mike Jorgensen, Joey Mack. Tune in. Going to be some good stuff. Go Ducks, everybody. Saturday's almost here.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the Drug Facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicine